Do you ever stop yourself from doing something because of the thought, but what will people think? And then freak out about it? I'm going to talk about that in this episode and the beliefs and assumptions that are underneath that. You're listening to Pure Light, where we explore how you can believe in yourself and be happy with who you are so that you feel worthy of your craziest dreams and confident in your power to make them happen. My name is Ailey. I'm a coach, writer, and Kundalini yoga and meditation teacher. This is episode 91. So you may have heard someone say, it doesn't matter what people think. What matters is what you think. And that is absolutely true. And I want to dig into that a little bit more in this episode. So when you stop yourself from doing something because you're worried about what people will think you know how people will react or what they'll do or say in response to the thing that you want to do. But here's the thing. So that is just a thought. The idea of what they'll do is just an assumption that may or may not be true. And you may be saying to yourself, but Ailey, I know these people. I know it's true. This is how they are. They've always been this way. And I understand because I've felt that way before myself. And those are also just thoughts that are assumptions that may or may not be true. I would invite you to consider what I'm about to say. So when you have an idea about how people will react in your head, that's all that it is. It's just an idea in your head. It's usually based on past experience, and it's based on the assumption that the future will be a repeat of the past. It's possible that that may be true because most people are operating on autopilot 45% of the time. So they're reacting and making decisions based on their habits and routines and patterns. And it's also possible that people may surprise you, and it's worth giving them that opportunity. Like, for example, when I decided to take a 6-month leave of absence from my job a number of years ago, I was scared of what my dad might think. I was worried he would think it was irresponsible and it could be like a negative career move. But when I told him I was going to do it and I was going to spend 6 months away from my job traveling through Australia, he was super excited for me. So he really surprised me. And at that point, I was about 30 years old. So even in a relationship that's that long, it's possible people can surprise you. I think it's actually possible for people to surprise you at any point, no matter how long you've known them. And I want to outline something really clearly here. So I wasn't just worried about what my dad might think. I was also worried about what people at work might think, because they also might think it was irresponsible or like a bad career move. And so the real problem here wasn't what people might think. It was what I thought they might think. And that's an important distinction to make, because the problem wasn't what's in their heads or what's potentially in their heads. It's what's in mine. Because my belief was that other people would think this was an irresponsible move. And that was a way of me not owning that at some level, I thought it was irresponsible. It's like I was trying to deflect that on my dad and people at work. So I had to take responsibility for that belief that I thought it was irresponsible and really take a look at that in order to decide how I wanted to proceed. And to be honest, I don't really know what everyone thought at work. It was just kind of like my assumption about what they thought. But I ultimately decided I was okay with doing something that could potentially be perceived as irresponsible. Like I was at peace with that because I was excited about the whole thing and it just felt like the right next step for me. Like I knew that I needed some time and space to reevaluate my life. So I gave myself permission to do that and to do something that could potentially be considered irresponsible. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, but what will people think? Step back for a second and ask yourself, what's the belief that's underneath that? Because that worry is mirroring your underlying belief back to you. So if you're worried people will think that it's irresponsible, it means that you think it's irresponsible. If you're worried that people will think it's selfish, it means that you think it's selfish. If you're worried that people will think it's stupid, it means that you think it's stupid. And once you realize that that's the belief that you're hanging on to that's causing you to freak out, you can decide, like, am I okay with that? Am I willing to do it anyways? And am I willing to give myself permission to do it? And I'll also say one more thing. Deciding to go ahead doesn't prove that you're irresponsible or selfish or stupid or whatever else it may be. If anything, it shows that you're willing to make courageous decisions that are in alignment with who you are, instead of worrying about what people may think. I've talked about fear of judgment a couple of times before, so I'll put links to those episodes in the show notes so that you can find them easily if you want to go back and listen to more on this topic. And if you want more stuff like this, subscribe to Pure Light wherever you listen to podcasts. And also sign up to get self-love strategies in your inbox every Sunday. So every Sunday, I send out a tool, perspective, or practice to help you trust yourself, stop overthinking, and be brave. To get those in your inbox, go to purelightpodcast.com, click on the button that says Get Self-Love Strategies, and sign up with your name and email. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, may you be guided by your light.